Hello and welcome back to the Friday NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for March 14th. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, and I am here to break it down. But before we do, come join us at LionStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do. The props, the DFS, you get it all, one low price. Now, let's get involved. Let's check out what we got here. We got a nice big game, big slate. We have 7 games on Draftkings, 10 on FanDuel. FanDuel has the 3 late games that start an hour and a half after the 5 p.m. games, 5 p.m. PST, that is. Now, we got an interesting slate here. There's still a ton of news that's going to come break and stir up this whole slate. Hold on to your pants because it's probably going to be another wild one. Boston, pretty much everybody is questionable. Philadelphia, Toronto, Dallas still have their same concerns. The Lakers are sitting a bunch of people. Denver has guys questionable. There's a slew of things that will likely change this slate, but we'll try our best to try and get into as much as we possibly can. Starting with Jared Butler, 4,900, 30% owned, a 6x value. He's in a good spot, likely to play decent minutes here. I don't think he plays 35 again because, it appears that they have more guys playing today. But Butler's still in a good spot, and I'm probably going to play a decent amount of him. Next, we got Stephon Cassell. Big news here is De'Aaron Fox is now done for the year, as well as Wemby. So it is expected that Castle will fall into the starting lineup. With that, probably play some solid minutes, 32, 34 minutes, something like that, versus a poor Hornets team is definitely an interesting spot. However, he is 6,500. He's been playing very well off the bench, but the usage that he gives off the bench just is not going to stay with the starting lineup. So I would expect his fantasy point per minute to come back a little bit now that he's not playing with the backups. But nonetheless, he is a little bit interesting. Next, we got Darius Garland, 7,500, 26% owned versus the Grizzlies. There is no Donovan Mitchell. Garland is going to be probably one of my highest owned guys. Like the spot for him. Don't mind playing a solid a bit, even though he is one of the higher owned. Next, we got James Harden, 9,700. Kawhi Leonard is back, but it's a huge pace-up spot versus Atlanta, who has a 105 pace. He's been playing great. I'm fine going back there. Although his price is getting up there where it limits upside when Leonard is in the lineup as well. Pivot-wise, Tyrese Halliburton, 8,700 versus the lowly 76ers. My worry here is that the Pacers just absolutely demolish the 76ers, and we don't get enough time of Halliburton on the court, but should play solid minutes as long as the game stays close. It's an interesting pivot to me that I don't mind making a little bit. Next, point guard on DK. Butler, Chris Paul, James Harden. Chris Paul, 4,900, 33% owned. All right, so his minutes have been down. Cassell been playing more minutes coming off the bench, and De'Aaron Fox is there. But without Fox, I would expect his minutes to go back up around that 28 standpoint. And at 28, you have a guy that very easily could hit 30, but still has like a mid-30s, maybe a 40-point ceiling. So I'm interested in some Chris Paul. However, I do realize they also may just keep his minutes around 25-ish because, why not at this point just play some of the younger guys and get them that game experience and whatnot. So I like Chris Paul, but I'm hesitant to go too hard on him. And let's get on over to shooting guard on FanDuel. Kessel, Vassell, and Jordan Goodwin. Vassell, 6,900. I am super interested in him. I would expect his minutes to go up without Fox and his usage to go up. And dude is pretty good from a fantasy perspective, has a big ceiling, is consistent, and in a good spot versus the Hornets. I think it makes some sense to go there. Next, we got Jordan Goodwin, 4,200. All right. With no LeBron, no Luka, no Hayes, no Rui, I think Jordan Goodwin. Oh, and then also Gabe Vincent doubtful and DFS doubtful. I think Jordan Goodwin likely comes and plays some decent minutes. He's at 0.88 fantasy points per minute so far this season, which it's a small sample size, but I'm very interested in playing him. I would expect once the Lakers are getting blown out, he finishes the game, plays a ton of minutes, and I think I'm going to probably have a lot of Jordan Goodwin. It is, a little touchy. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. A little bit risky, but Lakers just simply aren't going to have that many guys, and he is one of the more likely to get decent minutes. Shake Milton is there as well, but we'll see what happens as the day goes on, if any other news opens up. Pivot-wise, Dalton, Connect 4, 4,800. I would expect he starts, and I would expect he plays huge minutes. Lakers want to see what they have in him. They want to get him on the court, and he's going to have a green light to just fire away because the only guys that can put the ball in the bucket on this team right now are Reeves and Connect. They're going to try their best to stay in this game, and regardless if they stay in or start getting crushed, I think he sees decent minutes. So I'm interested in Connect. Next, Austin Reeves, 8.2K. The issue here for me is minutes. If they're down by, 20 points, like how many minutes are they really going to give Reeves? They're already sitting everybody. The likelihood they come back is extremely thin. So I think there is actually, some blowout concern here with Reeves. However, if they are able to stay in this game, it's likely because Reeves is having an absolutely huge game, and we've seen him go and put up, 69 points or 50-point games. He absolutely has that type of ceiling and can do a ton with the ball. So I'm interested in some Austin Reeves for sure here, but I am concerned about them staying in the game and how many minutes he could get. And then Halliburton we covered, so we will get on over to shooting guard on DK. Jared Butler, Vassell, Castle, we talked about him. Boston, literally everybody is questionable. Brown, Tatum, White, Porzingis. So there's going to be some mix-up in this Boston lineup. I would almost guarantee it. And once you start taking those starters away, the other Boston guys always look super interesting. So I'm probably going to have some exposure to Boston. I'm just not sure how it is yet because I don't know who's in or out. If they're all playing, then I'm probably not getting much of them. If they are playing, or if only a couple of them are playing, I'll probably get a lot of those guys. All right, small forward, FanDuel, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, 5,300. He likely plays, his same 24, 25, 28 minutes off the bench and has a decent ceiling. Can get there in a very good matchup versus the Hornets. The Hornets bench is absolutely terrible. So the Spurs could really put it on him when the reserves are out there. I'm fine having some Keldon. However, I do worry a little bit about that ceiling. Kawhi Leonard, 8,400. Guy is still too cheap for the ceiling. Went up and put a 51 burger the other night. I'm fine chasing that. He's slowly turning more and more into himself and has had a slew of those mid-40s, and those ceiling games are coming as his minutes have started inching up as well. Pivot-wise, Connect Reeves, we talked about. Miles Bridges, 9,100. Wild price, but this is just an absolutely slam spot versus the Spurs. One thing I'll say is I also really like Mark Williams, and I'm probably not going to have Williams and Bridges in too many lineups together. Bridges can do it with Williams doing it because Williams can attack the boards while Bridge only gets, 5, 6, 7 points, something like that, but he scores 40. So I don't mind having a little bit of them both together, but I'm trying not to get too much. The most likely way Bridges really gets there is if he is getting, double-digit rebounds. He's scoring 30 points and kind of doing it all. I do think this price of 9,100 is wild on him, but he has been doing it. Look since February 20th, 19th. 52, 74, 53, 64, 52, 53, 67. He's been doing it. It's hard to really bet against that when he's also in a very good matchup now. Paulo Banchero, 8,700 versus the Timberwolves. It's actually a pretty good spot. Timberwolves 29th versus power forward. Banchero's been playing very well lately, and he's cheaper than Bridges. I think this is a very interesting spot where you can use Banchero and get a little different here. Small forward on DraftKings, Vassell, Johnson, Daquan Jeffries, 3,400. Guy put up 20 points last time, played 32 minutes. This matchup is a decent one as well. He did that against Atlanta. This is a decent matchup. Can he go 20 plus fantasy points? Yes. Will he go 20 plus scoring? Probably not. However, it is a decent spot. Spurs 21 versus small forward. If you're on DK and at 3,400, I don't mind sprinkling in. He's going to play big time minutes. Ricky Council 3,700. Hard to really know what minutes are here, but he's had 29 and 33 the last 2 games. I think there is some upside in the minutes that we have projected, but really it comes down to what's going to happen later when more injury news comes out. If the 76ers are down to 9 or 8 guys, he's going to start looking super, super interesting. Power forward, FanDuel, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I love both of them. There's no Mitchell. Both these guys get huge bump up, as well as Garland without Mitchell. Very interested in all 3 of them, and I love that this game is a 244 total, and it could stay close because it's Memphis. I think this game is one that I'm going to have a ton of. Jared Vanderbilt, 4,500. We were all over him yesterday, and he only played 25 minutes. Now we have a situation where DFS is out, Doncic is out. I would be shocked that if Vanderbilt doesn't go back up to that 28, 29 minute type situation, and the guy hasn't been playing that well, but he has shown a huge fantasy ceiling in the past, and I don't mind taking my chances on him. I do wish he was a little bit lower owned, though. And the pivots we talked about. Getting on over to power forward on DK. Mobley, Keldon, Jeffries. Talked about them. Getting on over to center. Evan Mobley, Allen, Vanderbilt. And my only pivot here is Mark Williams at 7,900. 7,900, you're getting a guy that very easily could go 50 plus versus the Spurs. Spurs been terrible versus center lately. Mark Williams is a beast. And, it does appear his minutes have dropped a little bit, but if you look a little closer, it's in blowouts. In blowouts, they're taking him off the court. In a game that stays close, he's playing 29, 31, 34 minutes, and that's where he really has a ceiling, and this is a game that absolutely could stay close. If you wanted to project him for 30 in this game, I think you could, and he's going to look real, real nice. On a center on DraftKings, Allen Mobley, Steven Adams, he's going to play, but won't play very many minutes. I doubt he stays a higher owned candidate later in the day. Nick Batum, 3,400. He's been playing minutes. It's a huge pace up spot. You could do worse than that. I just wouldn't want to have him at center spot just because it's taking away so much upside. But I don't mind having some 3,400 dart throws on Batum in DK. And that will do it for us today, guys. Hope you all had a good week. We will be back next week with more. You guys have a good one. Good luck. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Peace.